Livestream. What's going on, everybody? We're live back on a Sunday. These new Sunday streams are basically just working on random projects that I have and trying to focus mainly on questions and just interacting with viewers. So that is the plan for tonight. Again, tonight I've got my VS4-10 Ultra up here on the bench. Recently, I've been working on a set of carbon fiber battery and electronics trays. So I milled those out today, but they didn't come out just perfect. They actually, my depth was off maybe just a hair. Should have gone another, but just milled a ½ millimeter past. So I've got a little bit of hand cleanup to do rather than just throw them away. That's the plan. So I'm going to clean those up slightly and then I'm going to get them installed on here. So that's kind of busy work that I can do while paying attention to comments and questions. So anyway, hopefully your guys' Sunday was good. I was glued to the the desert racing portion of King of the Hammers today. It just ended, so it was a great time for this. So how's the face after the Suki incident? You know, that was rude to say the least of her, but we made it past. So anyway, yeah. I'm gonna kind of, again, this is my VS410 Ultra. My Ultra is pretty much bone stock, I think, other than wheels and tires. I've got, oh, I forgot I did put a light set in it at one time, and my light set evidently needs attached to the body a little bit better. Should probably disconnect that for tonight. It's one of those mad NGH light sets, so it's actually a touch sensitive pad that you touch through the body and it adjusts it. So I'm gonna disconnect that, but I've got an RX4 in here currently. I've got battery straps on the side and the top tray, depending on what size battery I was running. My battery tray that I made for this car, though, is a shorty, so it doesn't extend as far out on each side, so it should make things just a little bit nicer. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. I got a little bit of cleanup to do on these trays, so I'm going to work on that while I read through comments. We're going to tear up an X-Acto blade a little bit. Josh, when do the 4400? 4400 race is on Saturday, this coming Saturday. However, qualifying is all day Wednesday, I believe, which is going to be a great day. Great day of racing. So, and then there's Everyman Challenge, I believe, on Thursday, UTV racing on Friday, or vice versa. It's going to be a great week of racing. And started last night with the Class 11 stuff, which was super fun. Why won't you ever offer to adopt me? Just got a TRX4 Defender. What are some good accessories? Watch our TRX4 budget build. There's a bunch of good info in there. The Lloyd sent me home. I won Midnight Bowl. I believe D up there, he sent me a photo from Cosmic Midnight Bowling, and he had a bowling ball named the Lloyd, or had Lloyd on it. However, I'm guessing he found it at the bowling alley. I don't think people who own bowling balls go to Midnight Bowling. I don't know. Do you know how hard it is to get out of Folsom Lake in the dark? That's what you get for going crawling so late, Joe. Anybody see my baseball? I'm here. You can start. It's perfect. Hopefully, everyone had a productive weekend. I got quite a bit done this weekend. I only got to work on cars today, though. Yesterday, I was busy with some other projects all day. I like this more than the model. Yeah, that's why we had to kill off the 3D printing Sunday, the modeling. It just wasn't very interactive with people, and unless you were like absolutely into wanting to do that yourself, it really just didn't appeal to people. So that's why that had to go. I'll go to this, and you can see how this is not going to be, now this is carbon fiber, so you should be careful, you know. It is carbon fibers. I'm going to have to be pretty careful cleaning this up. It's not, you know, do this at your own risk. You shouldn't inhale this stuff. Now, granted, I'm just cutting off these fibers. We're going to have to be careful and clean it up, but we've all done things that maybe were slightly against the recommended guidance of whatever. So I apologize. Class 11 buggies are cool. I know, right? It's like, start looking at them, you're like, those can't be that expensive. Maybe I should buy one. Obviously, that's not a good idea. You know what I have that I need to get is a work mat. Hold, please. Sorry. I actually had bought this a while ago, completely forgot about it, and ran into it yesterday. Yeah. Sorry. This is what I'm going to need. Not following protocol. I know. I'm a terrible ambassador for safety. All right. This will be easier to clean. Not something I'm going to leave up here, but at least it will. If I'm working on something like this, it should be better. Ooh. Oh, I can count how many squares things are now. What? So, oh, we're a whole new level of cool. What now, Matt? Yes. So good. No ripper. I just have a set of spare ripper bumpers. Yes. Okay. Oh, we're so much cooler now. I can't even handle. This wasn't even intentional. I've had this for months. I just finally remembered it. You know. But so looking at this, you can kind of see, I mean, this thing cleaned up pretty quickly. Still got some hanging on in that side. See those little pieces? But it looked like this when I started. No bueno. No bueno. What's the size of that mat? Well, this mat is roughly 24 squares by 17 squares, if I do say so myself. So yeah, we're gonna just finish a little bit of cleanup here. This is one of those, what do they call them? Self-healing cutting mats. Now I think, like, I know there's people who race probably know better, but aren't you supposed to, like, don't like racers put a little CA glue on the edge of their carbon fiber, something like that? I mean, I'm definitely not going to do that, but just wondering. I've heard people do things like that. This is 2mm carbon. So this all came about because a guy by the name of Bart messaged me on Instagram, and he's like, "Hey, you ever done any carbon fiber?" I was like, "No, I haven't." And he sent me some carbon fiber, and it's 4 mil. And I was going to try and use that, and I've been fighting getting it to cut clean. I had this 2 mil here though, and it cuts so much better. So I got to figure out what is going on with that 4 mil to make it just so much of a pain in the ass to cut in comparison. I'm sure it's probably just like an actual quality carbon fiber, and what I'm using is garbage carbon fiber. If I was to guess at such a thing. I mean, the cuts are good, but yeah. hot in here already. Sharpie the edges, light. Sharpie the edges, and then a light coat of CA glue. Interesting. On chassis and bumpers, yes. Huh. Learn something like I think I had heard about it, I just didn't know for sure. And again, I'm not going to do it. These are inside of the chassis, so the actual amount of abuse will be pretty minimal. What cutter? PCB? Yeah, 3mm PCB cutter is what I was using for these. And the other one, I have pretty good luck with those PCB cutters and other carbon fiber, but that 4mm was just a bit of a pain. So what infill do you recommend for scale parts? Usually I probably don't really ever go much over 20 on many things. There's some really good episodes of CNC Kitchen on YouTube where he tries like basically all of the different infills, showing you how little benefit you get above a certain number, and it was really interesting. You know, like how little extra strength you get. You get more strength from more shells than from more infill. I was like, pretty interesting. What does the carbon fiber cutter use? What do you mean, Juan Rico? It uses a PCB cutting bit, which looks like a little knurled bit. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I use. Slow down your router. You need a better cut. I'm guessing so. Like this one was just a depth issue. I didn't cut past on one of my contour. Like on my drills and my slots and all that, it did great. But on this one, it just, my depth, I had offset, or didn't have offset properly, and I ran into this issue. All the other cuts were great. This was just all in one tool path, and then of course that's when it is done. What file type do you know what to print? I don't know what you mean. Cut away from. I'm not really moving all that much, and that's also very difficult to do. I'm trying to keep the blade pretty steady and move the part if possible. Definitely going to destroy this X-Acto blade. I'm gonna have to see if Matt has more number 11 spares from his finger blade purchase. Can you cut carbon fiber on a CNC? Yeah, I mean, my little CNC that I have is what I cut carbon fiber on. I have a CNC router, but yeah, that's what you cut carbon fiber on. Well, I mean, I guess you can. People probably. I wonder if laser cut it. I don't know. This is a possible blood sport show. We'll see. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I'm, of course, hoping not. Like I said, I like to just try and stick the tip into the mat and then move it around. It's like one layer of strands. It's not even like a whole thickness. It's just barely still left. Yeah, where we at? There's the camera. You can see it's just like that inner part was just where it had left when it was cutting. Water jet. Yeah, there you go. Of course. Water jets are another one. Wasn't Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport? I don't know why I remember that. Is carbon fiber conductive? I feel like it is. I don't feel like it's a good conductor, but I feel like when I was doing the quadcopter, like the FPV quadcopter stuff, I would hear people say, um, you're supposed to make sure that your connection, nothing's touching or things like that. But I never tested or really, it is. Some people say it isn't. Some people say it is. Yes, that's why I feel like I've heard conflicting, but I'm pretty sure that I've heard it is conductive. So I don't know. I'm not going to say that fried 2 carbon fiber drones when a bare wire contacted the frame. That's what I always heard is when I was looking at drone stuff, and obviously those guys are always about the carbon fiber, is that you had to make sure that. Now, again, there's a million different carbon fibers, so it probably depends on the carbon fiber that it is. E6000 is also conductive, but exactly, I've used E6000 in situations where if it was conductive, it definitely should have caused an issue and didn't. So you win some, you lose some. Obviously, I like to live dangerously. Stick a piece in a light socket, find out. So yeah, we're getting cleaned up. Little thing. I wish I had a deburr knife here, but I don't. My deburr knife is in my toolbox at the office. A few little pockets to clean up still. If I was really concerned, I would just go back and kind of run a file over some of these edges, but it's going to look good enough for no ripper tonight. No ripper tonight. I don't like to do one thing 2 streams in a row if possible. So I worked on the ripper from Brandon more today and got it actually in pretty good shape. I'm going to do a couple of things to it before it goes off. It'll probably find its way onto one of the Dremels. Or no, I do not want to Dremel carbon fiber. It's too messy and all the fibers. I don't want to breathe them. When I machine this, I run a shop vac, but a Dremel would be much harder to do in here. I'm not saying you can't Dremel carbon fiber. I don't want to. And Jeremiah, thank you, checking in. I went to my toolbox and got my files, but I can't get them through the screen. Mine are right here. I can almost touch them. So we'll get there. Will 10-1 rock jocks fit under my ripper? Oh man, don't do that. You can't do that. The ripper deserves at least 10-2 rock or 10-2 axles. I'm not saying it isn't possible. You just have to figure out the pan hard and all that, but I mean, yeah. Yeah. Top camera froze. All right. Well, whoop. And for some reason, the other camera was. Still don't know why it does that, but just like it has to reset every once in a while. And you'll see I switched to the desk camera, which is completely yeah. All the comments rolling in now. You guys are on like a 30 or 45 second delay, so yeah, I know you're Servo on axle 10-1 rock jacks. Yeah, no, that you just 10-1 axles under a ripper is so, it just feels wrong to me. Sony, exactly that. I like the A6000. It's been good. It's just I'm having weird. I think it's actually cam link issues, not the camera, but you know, we every once in a while. Yeah, desk camera's still in last night. I agree. It's so weird. Uh, holy crap, Brian! It just got there today. That's crazy. Hopefully you like the battery electronics tray setup. That was pretty fun to knock out for that truck. And a fun theory or idea for the mystery build. I have to give you that one for sure. It was a great suggestion. Right. Right here. Okay. More bubbly. Is the firmware updated? I'm gonna have to check that, Jeremiah. I haven't, but I really don't think it's the camera. I think it's the Cam Link, which is an Elgato product. And it could also be like USB motherboard related. I'm running them in 3.0 or 3.1 slots, but I have so many items running into this motherboard that I might just need more power. Maybe I should build another computer. This is talking into a talk and trim. Yeah, exactly. That's but you know the whole point of the change on Sundays was because I just want to have a show that's kind of more informal but all about viewer interaction. Listen, you know, having whatever your guys' comments are, seeing what's going on. I've got random projects that always need work. I can pull a truck up that I'm working on. I know I saw a comment a little bit ago about the Flip That Truck series, which I absolutely need to get back to. I got a few, you know, that 50K truck will be done before too long. That'll get out of here. I've got Ben's Woods Runner that's almost finished up. I designed a new dash for it and printed it last weekend and got some test fitting done on that. But this is like a good show that I can take and actually just pull those trucks onto the bench and get anything finished up I need to while chatting through things. But like, yeah, I was saying with Flip That Truck, I have the next truck frozen again. Damn it. And the wrong. Don't get it. It's going to piss me off. I am going to get rid of that hotkey for my desk camera though, so I don't keep going to that. So, okay, fix that. But anyway, I think there's a timeout limit on. So it's weird. I've actually used it and just had it. I'll let it just go and go and go, and not have an issue. And then the other night I tried something new, which I shouldn't have done, and all of a sudden it's being a pain in the ass again. So I'll figure it out. These streaming setups can be a mother sometimes. Right. We're getting there. I think I am going to file a little bit on these before we actually install them into this VS410 Ultra. Right. My case O queso files. Is 50C 3S enough for my Rift? It depends on the milliamp. The amperage of the battery is a function of the C rating and the milliamp rating. So that's what's important. Yes, where is Bernie? Bernie was it was a 1 week thing. It was timely, and that was all. Can't remember if I. Is he still here? No, that's that. Oh, I still have Nicole's flight information on here for some reason. No, nope, I don't have Bernie on here anymore. Bernie fell off the crooked shelf. John's Tiny Trucks. I did enjoy STL Sunday, but because I watched it from the beginning, I no longer need it. On to something exactly. If everyone learns, and then you go past. It was a fun series. I'm glad we did it, but we did like 30 some odd weeks of it, so it's still all there. If anybody wants to learn or build ridiculous scale accessories, all those videos are still there for the watching. And somebody could probably watch them again after learning and still pick up something here or there. On the OBS forums, people have had the same issue you're having with the camera. Some had issues with stock can't link cords. Yeah, it's quite the pain in the ass, but I should probably investigate further. There's a PC case that had a mid-tower bottom and a mini ITX on the top, stack, so you could run two. So the two PC thing, that's usually for gamers because they'll run one as a gaming PC and one as a streaming. I don't need that because all we're doing is streaming. So I've seen some of those dual system cases, but it's actually not something I need. Or something that would even, like, I like to do a lot of things I don't need, but it doesn't benefit me. When will VP Ultra portals be available as a standalone product? Honestly, it's one of those things, like, we haven't been able to keep up with just the trucks themselves, so I don't know when or if they will get to it. It depends when we can keep up with demand and things like that. So we're not going to make the axles available separately so that we can't sell trucks. So that's the reason why you don't see them separately yet. These clean up pretty well with a real light filing. I'm pleased with myself. I'm pleasing myself. Would you say the VS410 is a hard build? No, I wouldn't say it's a hard build. I would say it's a pretty straightforward build. I've had a lot of other kits that are a lot harder, that are, less expensive trucks or things like that. Everything goes together really well. The machined, whole deal. Just have Josh build it for you, Dale C says. Thanks, Dale. Well played, sir. All right, we're in good shape there. One done completely. Should just flip that truck live every Sunday, save you the editing. I know what you mean. It's one of those things, like, I don't want to go to only live video though. Like, edited video definitely has its place, and it is a better format for when you're on the go. So I want to at least have the first and last episode of any Flip That Truck continue to be proper proper edited videos. So that is why. But I really do want to get back to that because I actually have a lot of fun with that series. I get to see trucks that I wouldn't normally see. It gives me an excuse to shop and buy some trucks. Um, you know, uh, Kevin asked, "Did you watch any of the truck race today?" I watched. I had it on basically all morning, so I fired it up at 10 a.m. and let it go until right when this stream was starting, which was the last was when they had the shut off. So anybody who wasn't in by then didn't get to finish. So I watched all day. 3 live streams and only one. Yeah, it's it's one of those things like the live streams I have a lot of fun with. Live streams actually do better than edited videos in a lot of cases. But or in most cases, as far as like watch time and subscriber build. So, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to not keep doing the regular videos. So even though it would make sense to do that if I was just going after the numbers and all that side of it, but I still personally enjoy watching regular videos. So that's why I want to make sure I keep doing that. Are there any plans with showing the Stepcraft do a video or live stream? I definitely like to put it here and there in videos, in like edited videos when I'm doing things, but you know, to cut these 3 parts, it took like 5 minutes. So it's hard to like make that a whole thing. So that's why I usually just throw it in there. Yeah. But I do like to, the other thing is that it's in the garage, which doesn't exactly make for great video because my garage isn't cool or anything like that. The lighting kind of sucks. Stepcraft, I could use shock towers for my DR10, right? That's the funny thing, though. I have a Stepcraft and can draw, but I still bought the shock tower for my DR10 because it's not worth it to try and make my own when you can buy it so easily already available. It's not necessarily that cheap to make these parts yourself. So it for what a lot of the times you can buy them for, it's just like I'm just going to buy it. The Stepcraft stuff is great for custom stuff. These weren't available. Carbon fiber battery and electronic trays for a VS410, like somebody hasn't done that yet. I can do that, so I will. And that's when it's nice to have the ability for CAD and this little CNC router for home. It's one of those things I really enjoy, and I'm super glad I spent the money on. All right, so we've cleaned these up sufficiently. Let's just switch to this for a moment. So now we've got our stubby battery tray and our electronics trays. So, Josh, what's the longest print you've done? I just started a 30+ hour earlier today. Hopefully it goes well. Man, I don't know if I've ever done a print any longer than that. I remember I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago, myself and Kyle from UC Fab, we decided, he wanted to do a replica laser nut car for Cody at Laser Nut. Or Cody asked him to do it, whatever it was. So we said, sure. Kyle designed a chassis, and then he sent me the chassis, and I designed the body panels of it. And then I 3D printed them to test them before we had them done at Shapeways. And that print for that big hood on that thing was like 30 hours or something like that. VP will have brass battery trays soon. Killing me. Carbon fiber, I could see. If people actually want... This is like such a silly little thing. Like it's not needed. it's not really going to make that much of a difference, anything like that. But it's just kind of fun. So that's why I wanted to do it. Hey, thank you, Jeremiah. I have the VFD and the VS410 chassis in the shopping cart. Just need to know if the SCX10 3 axles will work on it. Yes, they will. We did that last Sunday, actually. And I'll have the panhard link and front upper link done that was needed to be able to just bolt it all up with a regular set of SCX10-2 links as well. So there you go. He needs to go wash his hands now. So says Travis, the teacher. Probably right, but I'm in the middle of a live stream. Which live feed was better for I had Facebook on, and I bought the premium, and the premium was definitely worth it, even if just for even if it was just for the, you know, having coverage during commercials. But there was also a lot of better angles. You got some really cool drone and helicopter shots. Yeah. So what is the name of your CNC router you use at home? It is a Stepcraft D600, and it's a really nice router. It's a little bit nicer than something like an X-Carve or a Shapeco. And that was the reason I went with it. It's got actual ball screws on the X and Y axis and the Z. There's no belts on it. I didn't want something with belts. Holy crap, a bunch of stuff just popped up all at once. So yes, but thank you for that donation, Carl. Much appreciated. Sorry, a bunch of stuff popped up all at once. What? Travis is also the one that tells me that I need to go, you know, I should have better ventilation while soldering. So, and in all cases, I think that I agree, and Travis is probably almost always correct. However, I don't even preach it. I was gonna say I don't practice what I preach, but I don't even preach it very well. I'm telling you I'm doing things incorrectly, and that you should do things better than me. Don't do this at home. Like the warning before jackass. I'm pulling off the rear lower links just so that I can, actually I might only have to pull off one. Because to get to the screws on the bottom side of the battery tray. Does the Stepcraft cut aluminum as in body panels? It could cut aluminum. I don't, but it does. I do. Or I guess I have once. Especially thin aluminum, like body panels, you could cut. If you're trying to do thicker, like you probably want some coolant. But hey, thank you, Derek Loomis. I would definitely buy carbon parts for my Pro. You should sell them. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to sell them personally, but it's it's a thing that we could set up through Vanquish. I'm switching to my Traxxas drivers because they've got a 2.5 ball tip in this case. Lagging. I did drop some frames. Right. You need to pick your frames up. Okay. Crash, bang. There we go. This is the part where we start saying no. No audio. Killing me. Let's see if this unfroze. It did. So here's the stock tray, and here's, you can see the stubby one. I basically just went to those outside braces and then took off the end. Oh, I missed while I was lagging. Where was it? Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. Have you printed the LS3 twin turbo of the VS410 designed to mount to the VFD and clear two servos mounted? I have not printed that. I've seen that one though. I have a couple of the Mr. Comma D engines, and that's sorry, I thought I deleted that. I was trying to pull the tape off my keyboard so I didn't hit it. Anyway. But let's see. Hey, I quit typing. This is cool for sure. So that's what we're gonna pull this off. Or continue to pull the let's see, what Traxxas set is that? Does your driver handle swivel to screwdriver time? Oh, yes. I don't remember what this one's called. I should. It's like the master set. It's got the nut drivers and all of the 1/4-inch driver tips. Comes with 3/0, 3/0 ball end, 2/5, 2/5 ball end, 2/0, 2/0 ball end, and then a 1/5. And it comes with a handle too, but I don't actually use the handle. So I might just saw how much I spend on live videos. I could have bought a series. Yeah, you know, that is an issue sometimes. All right. So Tyler Boss down at KOH. Lucky you. It looked like the weather was pretty good. Hopefully you have good weather all week. All those nice carbon parts is like dangling a steak in front of a hungry dog. That's funny. All right, we're going to pull off my RX4 and so much light. This is going to make such a huge performance difference. It's not. It's not going to make much of a difference at all. It just looks cool. It's not going to make any difference at all. But I can't help but keep trying to use that overhead. You know. Why not? Carbon fiber is cool. It's the only reason. I just picked up a Proline Comanche body for my VS410. Blasphemy? No, I mean, changing bodies is part of the fun. I happen to really like Scouts, so I leave them. But that is that's the only reason. So multiple grams of savings. Exactly. Right? Do it for the grams. At least I'm not trying to sell you on that this is this is going to make all of the difference. No. This is purely for cool points. And if you don't think it's cool, then I wouldn't get into it. So I have the same drill and straight as race mode. I don't know. This feels slower to me. I feel like race mode puts, you know, it's gun format. That's got to be faster. Okay. So pull off the old, get rid of that crazy aluminum. I mean, all three of them, there's a significant difference. But you know what? You know what I do have, just for the sake of ridiculous. Let's just compare And we're going to just on. Okay, there we go. So we're going to see what. So we'll put all, which one is this? I think I have them mixed up. I do. So you can't see those. There you go. Those are 88 grams. Insanity. 30 grams. I don't know what that means to you, but I mean, can't say that there's no difference at that point, right? Hey, Quack RC, thank you very much. Awesome. More KOH was awesome, Stacey. And it's going to get better all week. So, yes, today was good, but it will be much better this week. Hi from Kent. Hello, the Tank RC. Only a matter of time, VP carbon fiber rails. Right. So, there we go. You went from 3 ounces to 1 ounce. I mean, yeah, it's something. I'm not saying it's worth the time or not, but make up the difference in brass. No, I'm not trying to add weight. I always like to reduce weight when possible, but so we need to drop our replacement trays back in. Let's see if I have them in the right way. This one's backwards. Goes that way. So we'll get those screwed in. All right. Okay. So think of the weights. Yeah. Can't remember. Okay. 2 screws in the front. Did I have one? I think I had one in the rear too. I did. All right. Yes, if you're watching and enjoying, hit the like button. Is always appreciated. Let's get some screws in the front of this. Strange servo. It's a Tekin servo. It's actually the servo I've had in here since we did. This was one of the 2 video trucks that we used, and it's the one that's been in there the whole time. This is a T360 in this one, which is not as powerful of a servo as I would normally use, but has still got the job done. What's the name of the scales you used? Those are, is this still going? Yeah, Sky RC. So, and I think they're just actually called like corner scales or something like that. So, well, I'll hook them all up and do the whole thing. Hey, Kevin Gibbs, thank you very much. Josh, I did the Toyzuki mod to lower my motor in the SCX10. Great video. That's an old one. That was fun though, and yeah, it is cool. Thank you for the donation. And Burke Eschler, greetings from the Great Rocky Mountains, front of Montana. Significant word here is rocky as in crawling. I hope to get to Montana in the next, I don't know, hopefully this year. Because Montana is pretty amazing. Is that your rear portal? No, this is a VS4-10 Ultra, and it's pretty much stock. So the oh, frozen. So it's a regular VS410 Ultra. Nothing different about it. I don't think I've got a single upgrade on here other than wheels and tires. That was it. So stock everything. It's been a good little truck though. I drive my Pro more. I prefer the Pro. I've always said that. Even though this is more expensive and all that, my Pro is still the one I prefer. So, but I still get this one out a good bit. Still have a lot of fun with it. Oh, you know something I didn't or don't have done is I should countersink the holes on this. So those scales are mostly used for carpet racing. Yes, absolutely. That is most definitely the most common use for them. So I've got my little drill block piece of, like, what do they call it? EP wood or something like that. Super dense, super hardwood. Did you finish the ripper? It's not finished, but it's getting pretty close. I'm gonna do a couple of things. Let's see. Now we're gonna okay. I'm sure Travis Gilmore is already on me about the dust. Oh, that one didn't get that one. All right. What's the performance advantage of Sendero to the VS410 chassis? I did a video on that. I think I kind of talked about it in there, but it's a more rigid chassis. And hard mount is a lot stronger. There's a number of things that I like about it more. It's just altogether, I like the chassis setup a little better. But the Enduro chassis is a little floppy. Oh, those didn't countersink super well, but they'll be good enough. Get these things lined up. Okay. Come on. We're getting there. And I guess I don't have a 2.0. I saw somebody who said put the battery straps on before, and I was like, oh, I could do that, and then I forgot to. So you're gonna have to fish them through. That's okay though. Jeremy Burst was saying it after I already remembered that I should have. So, right. One last one. Have I heard of Jaybird RC? They make an awesome chassis. Is it a flat rail chassis? Because if so, I beg to differ. Where do you get that kit from? Do you mean the truck I'm working on? Because it's a VS410 Ultra. You can get it from Vanquish or any place that sells Vanquish kits, which is a lot. I foresee removal soon. You can get the battery strap in with the truck with it all assembled. It's not that bad. It's just more convenient to do it before. The carbon fiber kit. That is not a kit. I made it myself. I drew it up and then I cut it on my CNC that I have here at home. So, if people truly end up liking them, then again, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, it was like what, a couple ounces less, but you know. And put our link back in place. Dang, that was much shorter than I kind of thought it would be. Now I haven't got the battery straps in. Maybe we're going to fumble with that forever. What does it cost to have a home CNC capable of cutting carbon fiber sheet? You can the ones you can get, you could probably, you can get like an X-Carve or a Shapeco for like $1,200 to $1,400. Mine was a little bit more. There was some features about it that I liked, that I wanted those features. So it was a little bit more. But there's probably other options as well, but the ones that I was looking at was kind of X-Carve, Shapeco, and then the Stepcraft. So we've got battery strap in there. That wasn't so hard, even with it in place. Can you run a servo at 7.4 effectively with a 2S LiPo? Depends, yes, but you should make sure you're careful about it, because a 2S LiPo, when charged, is actually 8.4 volts. So make sure that your servo is capable of that, not just 7.2 volts capable. So, that's the difference. A lot of times you'll say, oh, 7.2 volts capable. Now, cool, I'll run a 2S. And then you find out that your 2S battery has more voltage and that your servo can't actually handle that. Okay. What keeps the battery from sliding side to side? Technically, there is no lip, but the body's there, so it can't go too far if it was actually going to slide. And just cinch, like I run my batteries on the side generally, where they can move around, and I just cinch them tight and they don't move. So is it possible to trim the VFD and or Fusion to fit in it? I don't know. I haven't checked that, but I don't think so. So I don't think so. Sorry, I meant 7.4 BEC with a 2S LiPo. Will it keep the servo powered? Yes. Yeah, you can run a BEC with that, will handle that for you. Okay, let's use some double-sided sticky tape to re-affix our RX4. Get the old tape off. Use Velcro to stop the battery. Yeah, if you wanted to. I don't usually like to put Velcro on my stuff, just because I don't like that one side always collects crap. Oh, I used actual servo tape on this rather than 3M. And I hate servo tape. Any benefits to running Futaba aircraft receiver over a surface receiver? Are they just cheaper? Yes, they are much cheaper. The 2106 GF that I run is the cheapest, like one of the cheapest receivers, and it's got 6 ports. So if you have like a lot of things to plug in, you don't get more channels on your radio, of course, but But like my 4-channel radio, if you have more things that want to plug into the receiver port, like lights or things, whatever, then you've got the, and it's a lay down style rather than a stand up, which is convenient at times also. So there's just lots of little reasons that I like running that receiver. What's cheap? I think retail on that is like 29 bucks. So strongest servo of, I don't know what you mean, strongest servo affordable. They must have just sold out to him. But yeah, that's why I run the aircraft ones. And I like to suggest them because they're cheap. I use 3M command hook tape. The pull and release works perfectly. Oh, I see what you mean. The tabs. I run 3M double-sided tape generally, and it's so easy to get pulled off. Now I didn't change this blade out, and I cut all that carbon fiber, so that's probably wasn't too bad. Could you do the rear portal mod with Vanquish 3 gear to reduce overdrive? Oh, of course, absolutely. I just like the VFD so much that is I would never switch out a VFD for a 3 gear if I could help it. So yeah. Josh, that's basically the same thing. What's basically the same thing? The 3M versus the servo tape, because it is not basically the same thing. This 3M stuff is way different than servo tape. Is it 21% overdrive hard on a trail track? No, I haven't found it to be hard on anything. I don't find 21% to be much of a draw, like a draw or drag on the drivetrain. I use the command strips too. They work well and easy to just replace if they get really dirty. Huh, interesting. VFD kill 3. I like the VFD so much that I can't imagine not running it whenever possible. The only reason I found one was I ordered 3M tape. I was sick of waiting, so I called 3M hook pull release stuff. Boom. All right, man, that went together pretty well. I mean, it was just battery and electronics trays, but still. And they look really good. I mean, I like that. Does the Hertz dig work with the VFD? There is a specific Hertz dig for the VFD, so you have to use the specific one. But there is still a dig. Dig servo goes right here. VFD dig replaces the rear half of the case. And I like that carbon fiber battery tray action. That looks good. I'm gonna have to make more of those for myself. Yeah, that's pretty slick. Not gonna lie, I like that a lot. I mean, if I do say so myself. What truck is on the very top shelf? I won't tell you. It's not coming down until some other stuff leaves. And once some other stuff leaves, it'll find its way out. There's a dig if you can find. Yes, they are. You do have to find it. It is not. Oh, dropping some frames. My bad. Sorry, everybody. We'll get there. Make the rear plate off chassis on Carbono. Okay, we're going to see if that fixed it. Sorry about that. Sometimes that happens. I'm not sure. I think that was on my end, not on YouTube this time, because it was giving me all of the errors here, all of the red. But we'll see. Hey, Josh, what is the association with Hertz and the dig unit? What do you mean the association? Because I don't think Hertz is really a thing, and it was named before I got there. So if I believe that the thought was actually that it was like Hurst, but it was Hertz, and I think that is what I was told. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but who knows? uh, who are you picking to win KOH? I've got I think Lauren Healy could possibly, if he could get a car, if he could get a car to the finish line. He has such bad luck at KOH and breaks all the time, but he's in a new car, and I think that it could do it. Josh, what pliers do you use for shortening the servo leads? The ones that I have are these, and this is Taiwan brand. So I would search for that brand, and you can, yeah, the logo looks like that, and it says Taiwan. I don't, I have no, I've had these for 10 years probably. Um, so I don't know. When will VFD digs ready again? They're constantly made, um, but I don't know when the next batch will be put up there. I got pliers similar to those, right? They're not my favorite brand, but I've got some other ones like it as well, and they seem to do it. Is the VFD a metal or plastic housing? It's the housing is plastic. The VFD dig, the tail housing is aluminum though. So, but the kit itself is it's a plastic housing. It's got metal bearing plates in the VS410 Pro and in the 21% overdrive kit. You can get the stock metal bearing plates for the Ultra if you want. I haven't changed them on mine. So yeah, the 50K giveaway truck will be finished before too long. I have to get finished, waiting on, we'll have paint back, and then I'll have to paint the chassis after I redid a bunch of the tube work on the back, but it'll get there. I didn't like the tube work, so I ended up cutting a bunch of it off and then redoing it. So, but it's coming along. Once it's done, you'll see it. It'll be obvious. Aluminum axle housings versus plastic. I mean, the aluminum housings they're fancy. The plastic's cheap. So, uh, you know, for cost reasons, plastic is an obvious decision. Sorry, I have a dog barking. But I've installed the Hertz in 3 gear in a 10.3, ripped out that GOD. I was not a big fan of the 10.3 trans. I will agree with that. I think a 3 gear in that one would be I would rather. Do you quick change do you quick charge with your Venom dual charger? Quick charge. I mean, I never really charge anything over 2C. Most of the time just 5,000 milliamp, I'll do it at 5 amp. Like I don't ever, that's 1C. So that's usually kind of the way I do it. Get your stacks for the RCPC yet? I do have the stacks. I haven't installed them yet. There's some stuff that I still have to do there, and a lot of the actual PC work. It's right here next to me. You can see it in the video, but lots of stuff there. You have a dog? No, I do not, but there's a dog not it, right there. Live in California. Your neighbors are on top of each other. Have I tried the Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1 ESC motor combo? I did. I used it in the Element Gatekeeper, and I really like the 2-in-1 convenience. I got the fastest one that was available at the time, which is 1800 kV, which is way too slow. And it's still like the Axe system to me. The Fusion and the Axe, they're just also underpowered in comparison to other systems of the same rating. I don't like how underpowered the Hobbywings brushless are, but you know, so Okay, it's time to question that way. I don't know what that means, Mike J. Um, so the VFD comes stock without overdrive, then you have to buy. It comes with overdrive in the out of the box. Like this one, I still have the factory overdrive in it. I didn't add the 21% overdrive. 21% is just a higher percentage of overdrive. Stock, it comes with like 6.5, or I think it's like 6.5% overdrive, which is just a little bit, you know. So if you want a more exaggerated number, then you can pick up the 21% kit, but not everybody does. Bring back the Scout 800 Woods Runner. That well, Ben owns the non-Scout Woods Runner, which is definitely the best one yet. So, will Hobbywing Fusion fit in a VFD? I don't think so. I think it's too long. I'm digging the new STL Sunday Shop Talk Live. Yeah, it's just so much more interactive to do these, and the live videos really should be interactive. So if they're not, there's not a whole lot of point. So if the 3D modeling stuff really ever needs to come back, it'll likely just be in an edited video where it's much faster. So yes. What's your opinion on SCX10 III or Sendero HD? I would say that they're very different trucks. The Sendero HD is probably more, it would be a better performing truck probably. Um, you know, the SCX3 I think is a better built truck, and it looks a lot better. The design on it in general is probably better, but it's got a lot to it that I think might make it not necessarily perform as well right out of the box. Fix that so we don't hear a dog so much. How many amps are you charging? Oh, sorry. The Axe 550 3300 kV is powered but very heavy. But it's also, if you compare it to another 550 3300 kV, it's not as much power. Like it's just, they fall short in comparison. Hey, Chibs, what's going on, man? Did you see the Axial Losi commercial that played during KOH footage? Yes, I did. Had the Rift and Losi laser nut ripping around, and what was the other one? Yeti Junior Can-Am. I did see it. It was kind of fun. And the Brenthal truck that looks like the Losi truck finished third. Ripper question: any rippers unaccounted for? Not asking for a cereal, just curious. Nothing specifically unaccounted for. I think there's some that are still like hanging from people who had them before and kind of like fell through, but it's a whole thing. Brian Sherwood got nothing. I appreciate it, man. I'm falling behind on comments, so I'm kind of jumping down. The 10.3 is a dumpster fire that was rushed. I know what you mean. I think it's a really good trail truck. I just don't think that it's the same roots as the SCX10 II in a lot of ways, which I think is more along the lines of where the Enduro is. I think the SCX10 II still has a lot of life in it for that reason, though. What would the overdrive diff SCX10 II and VFD trans work together? Will it be too much? Oh no, absolutely. You could do that. You can run the stock one, and you can run overdrive and underdrive and have, whatever. Like my VS410 Pro, I run about 30% overdrive. So it's still fine. It's a lot, but it's still fine. And I trail ride it. Updated version of the Scout 800 Woods Run. Yeah, let's see. So this is another, sorry. This is another version of the Woods Runner. This one was done by DS Fabworks initially, and then I bought it in the Flip That Truck series, and I did a bunch of stuff to it after that and really kind of got after it and really enjoyed this truck. And then Ben Benavides in here, he ended up talking me out of this one. It's probably my favorite truck that I like as far as a build goes in a really long time for a lot of reasons. I did a lot of things on it that I had never done before. like with the stamped metalworking that I think just turned out so good and made for some super cool touches. So you can see the stamped metal bed floor back there to make it look kind of like pickup truck flooring. That turned out great. You can also see up here, there's like some cowling that I did as a filler panel because you could actually see down in there before, and I didn't like that, so I wanted to make that filler panel. I'll pop out this body. I honestly, I love this truck. And so we're gonna pull that off. So underneath the hood of this, you can see that's that stamped metal cowl hood or cowling. Just kind of cleans everything up front. And again, I did these with 3D printed pieces, top and bottom, that smashed together to form aluminum. You know, there's some depth to them. And then I did the same for the nose. So it's got like a bead rolled, like looking inset. And I cut it out, bent it, and then I put that actual mesh behind the grills. So, and let's see what else. I don't have I have a new interior for this, or a new dash for this that I designed that is in the other room. But I did a stamped metal dash for it before, and then ended up changing some stuff and adding. But yeah, what is it? A 10.2? It was a 10.2. It started as a SCX 10.2. I put a dig in it also. There's a dig in this full interior with a UC Fab servo mount that rotates the dig servo around, so it actually sits right behind that seat. I also did these seats where you can pull these pins like this, and then the seat pulls out. It's on like a quick attach base type setup. The rest of the base stays in there. That you can see. Now, the one thing is that those pins fall out easily when you don't have the body on. So I'm gonna take the other one out too. But you can see the base sits in there. But you can see the dig servo just hanging out back there. It all just tucks in and away. And then I used a high altitude performance forward motor mounting kit on it that sits there, and it moved the motor forward kind of like a VFD. And then the problem is that the upper link didn't fit on the chassis then. So I ended up brazing on a upper 3-link setup. Now it's not bolted to the axle right now, but so it bolts off of the lower link like that. I just welded a tab on. So it works like a radius arm setup. Super fun. Some cool stuff. Hey, John. Hi, Phil. Thank you much. Hey, Josh, here's a bubbly money. I picked up some bubbly the other night. Not bad. I agree. Bubbly's amazing. So, yeah. But this truck is just super cool in a lot of ways. I made some rear taillight for it. They're kind of like bezels with some Lexan, and there's some LED behind it. It's a mix of 3D printing and some styrene work. Even I did some styrene work. What? Again, it's just rad. Such a good looking buggy. I made you can see actually right there, that's the ESC. It's mounted to a 3D printed shroud that allows it to bolt into the chassis. So it's bolted in with 2 screws up here in the front. You can see one there, one there. And those, you can remove the 2 screws from each side, and you can actually pull the ESC out that way. See these 2 here? So mounted solid. Can't really see it that way, but uses a small battery right up in front. Yeah. Now, I'm sure I missed a bunch of comments about that. We are all going to know about this awesome truck that the owner. That is awesome. So yeah, I think it is a it's a pretty legit truck. I really dig it. So how much to buy it? Like overbid what you sold it to Ben for. You know what? That's there. There is no number to me because Ben owns it now. Whether or not it's here still or not, it is not mine to sell. That you'd have to overbid Ben, and then he'd have to change his shipping address when it goes. So why does Ben not have it? The deal was, as he was trying to talk me out of it, I'm like, I'm not ready to sell it. I have things I want to do, and I don't know when I'm going to be ready to sell it. And he said, how about? And then we came to an agreement on the fact that I'm not sending it until I'm done with it. So I told him that to begin with, and he was fine with it. I'm like, all right, then fine. Fine, I'll sell it. Because I wasn't gonna, otherwise I wasn't gonna sell it. And that's what that is. So, but it was laid out in advance. Slate versus Polar Pro. I not a big fan of the Slate motors personally. I really like Castle ESCs. Love Castle ESCs, but don't love their motors. Um, so I like the Polar Pros a lot. I like the Polar Pros, and I like the Rock 412s. Those are the two motors I find myself using almost all the time. This has a Slate motor in it, if you noticed, but it came with that Slate motor in it before. Wire in the body left side. Yeah, it's sticking out the slider. Fixed. There's wires hanging everywhere. There's another little wire. The little orange and white wire, that's actually LED wiring. I use stripped out Ethernet cable to run the wire since it's nice and small. I had the Slate and Mama X considering getting a Polar Pro for my Capra. Yeah, Capra, I mean, you definitely need a slow one, like 1800 kV or something like that. Do you have an RC you would absolutely not sell? Ripper doesn't count. Okay, the Ripper doesn't count. Um, I don't think so. No, I'm not necessarily attached to most things. Um, I feel like I can always build something better the next time. So that's why I was okay with selling this, and I'm okay with selling any of the other projects as they go because I'm like, I'll build something better the next time with what I learned. And I kind of have to do that because um, to run a YouTube channel like this, you always need new content because people don't want to watch the same car over and over. So it's I have to sell them so I can buy new because I can't just keep buying new. It's too expensive. Um, are you more about building than running? I mean, I think that you need running. I still need the running side because it's what pushes me to do some of the building side better, like do it but better. Um, I mean, if I could only do one of them, like I could never build again or I could never drive again, I would definitely build. Um, but luckily, we don't have to make that choice. What he's saying is that everything's got a price. Yes, that's what I'm saying. What else is for sale now? Um, Nothing is like really ready for sale yet. I've got this Power Wagon back here that's going to be up for sale, but it's not yet because it's not done. Um, I'm going to fix that at a later date. But we'll pull up that Power Wagon because that's a cool truck. I'm looking forward to finishing that one someday. Let me throw the body back on this. throw it back on the shelf, and I'll grab the Power Wagon. So, dang it. I'm not putting all the body clips on. I want to take a photo of this later. This one is one that will be for sale before, well, I'm not saying when because it's got still a lot to do. A couple weeks back, we put on these new wheels and tires. I went with blue because the body is not going to be this. It's going to get a new paint job, and this body will go away. But this truck needs some work in general. We put a new transmission in it one night. I don't remember what night we worked on this on. It was on a live feed, but I just don't. Maybe it was a Friday. It was a Friday night. So this is another SCX10 tube based build. It's got some real minimal tube work done to it. Kind of a cool style in the back, real cut up Power Wagon bedsides, and it's got a kind of a cool, a little bit of a detailed interior. Some of the things that were done to it were very comp oriented. It had a very basic but kind of detailed interior, and it just was. It was there to get the points that it needed, but still be competitive. So I'm going to not care so much about that. And I'm going to kind of put some more effort into what I think will make it be cooler in the end, rather than really care about what the comp side of it is going to be. Now it's got Vanquish Vanquish rock jocks on it, front and rear, which look pretty good. It does need some link work because the links are kind of mismatching. It's got mismatched rod ends everywhere, and there's a little bit of thread exposed on some of these links, and I feel like it just needs to be. This truck is so nice that I feel like it needs to be done right. It needs to be uniform. It needs to have matching links and rod ends everywhere. Like I'll show you why. Like, I'll go to this. You can see, like that gap there. These are also Jado rod ends. So they're a little bit, I think that proper matching rod ends all the way around and proper links would be nice. You can see the front there is a different diameter completely. The rear, we've got some custom shorty uppers, but they've got like a bunch of marred marks on them for where he was trying to do custom links, or when he was making the custom links. And whoever put this together was focused on performance. I think that this truck probably performed fantastic, but I think that it just needs finished, because this truck in the end will be top notch. But now we're just going to make it like solid overall, just the best looking setup we can to complete it, because it deserves that, because it looks so good. So that's what I'm after. Now, I bought this truck without a transmission, no transmission, no drive shafts, and no wheels and tires, and I paid $750 for it. So by the time I get done adding a bunch more stuff to it, this truck is going to be very, very not cheap. It's going to be an expensive truck when it's done, because I think that it's worth it. It looks so good that it's worth being an expensive truck. And I'm going to put a bunch of stuff into it. So, what material? Sorry, I missed a bunch of questions, I know. Are you selling this truck? Yes, this truck will be for sale when it's done. I don't know when that will be. How does a guy buy it? When the trucks are done, they usually go on my website. I have a for sale section. I'll probably have a video on it before it gets done. This wasn't bought for Flip That Truck. This is just another truck. Do you use steel or aluminum when you do tube work? Steel, always. 124 scale, $150. I don't know what you mean. Did you put a gyro in your tuk-tuk? Yes, I did. I used a Yokomo gyro. Are there any 1/10 MOA axles still being made? I need to replace a rig I sold a few years ago. RC four-wheel drive, I still makes the Bully 2, I believe. What light kit is on the custom Woods Runner? It's all custom. I just made it all out of raw LEDs and wire. What material are those skids from? They look awesome. They're all just custom welded. This whole thing, it's all welded to the chassis. Everything's done custom on this truck. What happened to your $1,000 cage? Yeah, it is up here on the shelf as well. That is another one that has to get done. So, Gene Master, thanks for checking in. 3500 Polar Pro has been perfect. Heck, I need to sell you a truck or two. I'm always looking for the right deal. I'm pretty picky. Looks like the rear axle has a lot of twist when compressed. It's got some pinion movement. Those short upper links are going to do that, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it's going to affect much because there's not anything interfering there. Could have a little bit of chatter if you put a high-speed motor in it, but it'll be all right. What chassis rails does it have? This is an SCX-10-2 based chassis rail build. Doing the math, how much blood do I have to buy this? Oh, man. Josh, why aren't the 10-2 rock jocks not off? Why are the 10-2 rock jocks not offset? Because they're for an SCX-10-2, and an SCX-10-2 doesn't run an offset. So that's why. He meant the plastic. The plastic, that's custom Delrin. That's been cut and sanded to fit. So all custom again. He looked a bit worried about the $1,000 cage. I know. I'm not like worried. I'm just like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of work on that one. How long is the list of it has to be done? Is this live? This is live. I'll buy it for 800 as it sits. Absolutely not. Somewhere between not a chance in hell and no effing way. Right in there. Besides Ripper and the Super Capra, are there any other milled cages? Not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of. Because he told Nicole it was 300. She knows how much it paid. Because like these things come out of, anything that comes into YouTube stays within the YouTube thing. So because it's the only way that it's able to try and maintain its own. $1,000 cage can't be any worse than the other RC cage. I think that's the one they're talking about. Am I late to the party? You still made it. Welcome. I'll buy it for $1,500 right now. That's more appealing, but I don't know. But yes, this will be for sale. Where's the carbon fiber VS410 stuff? We already finished it, actually. It went really fast. I'll grab it back out because I need to take some photos of it. What happens on YouTube stays on YouTube. Do you have any LCG belly cross? Not really. Like the flat rail stuff, it's like, we used to do that in the comp crawling stuff. It's just like, they're not scale trucks. They look terrible. It's like, if you want just something that performs well, just build a sporty. Like, why build these terrible looking flat rail cars? Let's see. We're going to put this back on the shelf or here. Now, this is the current status of the truck that I bought for $1,000. This is just the chassis. It was a more complete truck when I got it, but I stripped it all down. I need to get the powder coating stripped off of it so that I can, because it's chipped and dinged up, and if this truck is going to end up selling for what it needs to, it's going to have to be completely stripped and then completely redone. But it has a RC four-wheel drive scale V8 that sits in here with the scale drivetrain, whole deal. It came with some really shitty China axles. Pulled those off. It'll get some proper axles under it. Vanquish, of course. But this has like custom hard, excuse me, has custom hard body axles or hard body panels. I can't talk. What is the wheelbase on that? I suppose you mean that one, and I do not remember. I don't know that I've ever measured it even. So, uh, for anybody who was joining late, what we worked, if you saw what was in the description, you're like, where are those things? We installed the carbon fiber trays and everything like that I made this evening. It went really well, and they look really good, and I'm even more pleased with it than I thought I was going to be. So, hey, Mayhem's Ghost, I appreciate the donation, sir. Sandblast it. Well, you can see it's got like a white on it, and that was because I did sandblast it, but it didn't pull it off. That's because I don't think my sandblaster's got a heavy enough aggregate to it. It needs to be properly stripped by someone who's got a much more powerful sandblaster. So, yeah, that's the. Have you tried a carb cleaning solution to clean the chassis? No, I feel like it needs a. I mean, this is some heavy powder coat on here. I think it's going to need a pretty decent amount of whatever to get it done. I'll give you $100 Australian, my last offer. Pass. Rock bouncer coming up. Bet you won't break the front axle. Oh, boom. What motor on that VS410? It's got a Rock 412 3100 kV. Brake fluid. Yeah, I've seen that using like a .3 brake fluid, but that's a big old vat of brake fluid to try and get that off. Try and use like some aircraft stripper or something like that, but I want to just send it to somebody and say, I want this cleaned. So, yeah, that's the plan. I want to just get it and then get it back, and it's fresh and raw. Did you decide on a body for the project last Sunday? I don't know. I have two options. I have two MST bodies here and a Power Wagon. I've got the MST JP1 and the MST J45. So those are both options, and that's where I can't really decide yet. So, but the SCX10 3 straight axles fit underneath of it really well. They looked great. I think that it's going to be a solid choice. The JP1 I've got on my VS410 up there, so that's an option. There's a J45 above it as well. So the J45's got a really heavy bed that I've got to modify if I want to use it. What's up, Rich? How good are you at parking? Telling you, Rich. Everybody needs to witness your neighbor's quality of parking, and I gotta post that publicly because it's hilarious. Um, Thanks for the input on the motor and ESC for my first build, Josh. Just finished it and it's perfect. Awesome. Glad that worked out for you, Mayhem's Ghost. MST J45C. I do like that body. So, do you have any bronze Vanquish wheels? Have been looking at, but they just look brown online. What? I do, but I think they're on my Pro in the garage. Or there's some right here. They are more of they are kind of brown, and also the color can kind of vary. So the bronze is it's very finicky, like gray. Like gray can vary wildly. It's quite a pain. So, but they are a little bit more of a brown than like a gold style bronze. Like if you're used to like a method bronze as they call it. When will the VFD digs back in stock? As soon as possible, but I do not have a day. Yeah, now start making chassis kits and we can build. What's your yeah? The chassis kits are like a couple weeks out, but they'll be back soon. Why are wheels not bronze from Vanquish? They look light red. It's like I said, it's a tough one. what drag motor ESC is the go-to right now? It seems like, well, I mean, whew, I guess you ask racers and you get a bunch of different questions, but it seems like the Tekin RS Pro Black and the 3.5 seem to be a big go-to. Next Friday, our live build, I've got a undercover drag wings Renegade chassis here, and I'm going to be swapping my DR10 over to that carbon chassis. So that's going to be super fun. That's our next Friday live build. Looking forward to it quite a bit. Are you still working on the RC Fab Capra build? You mean the RC Speedy one? If so, no. I don't. I'm super unhappy with the quality of that cage, as far as everything, just how it fit. And I don't know what I'll do with that thing. I find that thing to be nearly useless. When do you think the modified links will be out for next week? For the 10.3, hopefully a week, maybe a little bit longer. Once I confirm that everything's good, we'll run production. Then we've got to do photos, web listings. I've got to do all of the packaging information for BOMs and all that, get them packaged on the website. So there's a bit of a process to it, but it'll be done because that 10.3 stuff was cool. Gonna print the Woods Runner plans tonight. Have fun. It's a good one. One thing if you are printing the Woods Runner plans is get the body you're going to use and then modify the front of the cage to make sure it fits your body. That's important. When I did that the first time, that was honestly the first set of templates I ever made. So, be aware. Slow Don, thank you very much. Thanks. I have picked up multiple tips from the last 2 Sunday streams. Good deal. Hope you like it. These are a lot of fun, and I like the interaction of these Sunday streams. Just informal. Here's what is around. Here's what we could be working on. That's why I think these are going to do quite a bit better. So a carbon chassis DR10 a shelf placeholder. It hurts because it's true. 3100 kV, what pinion and spur? If you're talking on the VS410, I run stock gearing. The gearing that's in the VS410 is basically the gearing that I like to run because that's what Brandon and I chose when we were finishing the project. We're like, what gearing should we run? We're like, this is the gearing I'd run. So that's what we put in it. Incision drive shafts fit the gatekeeper. Ooh, I believe so, but I don't know in the rear for sure. So I can't say that for sure. Is my gatekeeper here? I think my gatekeeper is either in the garage or at work. Otherwise, I would just throw a set on. Sorry, maybe next week. I have an Ultra thinking about getting a Pro, but I'm wondering if we may see something new from Vanquish this year, yay or nay. I can't, if we were coming out with something tomorrow, I wouldn't say that we were, definitely not on a live stream. Like, I'm not, so I think you should still buy a Pro because there's not like, I can't think of anything right now that we could do to like improve the Pro. So yeah, I don't know. But again, if we were coming out with something tomorrow, I still wouldn't say. Yeah. But that's the same answer I give to people whenever they ask. So there's a lot of dirt. What's your opinion on the Holmes Hobby Crawlmaster Sport 550 8-turn for the SCX-10 II? Ooh, an 8-turn Crawlmaster Sport. I think that's pretty fast. That's like a 17-turn standard conversion. So that's a little fast. I would say go to a 13-turn or close to that. What do you think of Super Shafty Capper Cage? I don't know. It doesn't have any triangulation between. It's just got like standoffs between everything. So I don't know. SCX-10 3 build off. The SCX-10 is still a little new as far as like options. It's getting close. So it's like it's getting close to being a possibility. And it's a good platform. So like it's possible. It would be close to being time. Um, Useless need a GCM Delta for class 0. What? Wait. Unless I don't understand what you mean. Um, oh wow, this isn't scrolling and I'm just reading what's on. Whoa. All right. Sorry, we had to jump way down, but I didn't see that my stream wasn't scrolling. What shorty battery you running on the carbon fiber shorty tray? I run 1800 milliamp or 1300 milliamp 4S drone packs. So those fit pretty well. Hey, how's it going? Nearly 4. Hey, 4 a.m. in the UK. Yeah. Thought about moving Sunday streams up a little bit so that it would possibly be a little bit better time overseas, but I'm just like, I don't know. Well, I guess I could play around with that. Next Sunday is technically Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe I should do an early stream instead. That might be a good idea. Maybe I should do a morning stream next Sunday instead of, because obviously we're not going to stream during the Super Bowl. It's Kansas City's playing, and my wife cares about that. Yeah, hit the like button if you guys are here and enjoying. You have to close the live chat on YouTube mobile if you're watching there. Number 103 was the duplicate Ripper. It is not the duplicate. Nope. Incorrect. Or maybe it was. I will never say. Do you know that? Do you know they only make They don't only make BFG. These are high racks, and I bought multiple other tires this week. I bought some other tires this week, and I also bought more crawlers. What ESC for 4S? Mamba X or RX4. This is an RX4 in here, and that's what I like. Can you back order a chassis kit? You can from A-Main. What's your take on a Yeti trading a builder's kit for one? They're getting a little old now. They've been discontinued. They can be hard to find parts for. So move it up an hour just because people work on Monday. I know what you mean. I'd still rather watch the stream than the Super Bowl. Football? What is that? I agree. Coffee talk. I think next week we will move it up. I don't know that always, but at least next week. So what day is KOH? Saturday? The big race is on Saturday, but there's racing almost every day. So either qualifying or actual racing almost every day. Tomorrow night is the shootout. So it's like rock bouncers shooting up a hill for, best time wins. That's going to be a good one. There's usually big crowd for that. That's tomorrow night. You can go to ultra4racing.com for the schedule and find out all of the info. I should move stuff out of my way because it keeps scrolling. Yeah. You guys are going to keep trying to guess the Ripper duplicate. I'm not going to tell you. Thanks for another night of excitement. Mark, I appreciate the donation. Gonna have a slider roller up for sale. Me? I don't know when. I was going to text you earlier. You've been the king of 19 BFGs. Would you have one you'd sell? I need a spare. Oh, a spare. Oof. I don't think so because I don't run spares on anything. I basically only run. My Ripper is the only thing that has a spare and it doesn't have a matching BFG crawler. So next Sundays, we will hear Nicole yelling at the TV. Yeah, probably going to have to do it early so we don't. Why is a 4-link bad with a CMS? Okay, I'm going to get into the geometry of this really quick. First, RC Day charged up. Thank you very much. You showed off the 10.3 VP axles on the live before they were released. So tell us now the 50K KRS is never going to stop. Oh, TAFF4. On the live. Okay, maybe I did. Maybe you're true. Good point. Okay, a 4-link, basically, a triangulated 4-link. That makes the axle follow. It goes, when you cycle the suspension, it moves straight up and down. When you compress it, it goes straight up or straight down. When you have a 3-link with panhard, when you press the axle straight up, it follows the arc of the panhard link. So that's an arc from the panhard on the chassis to the panhard on the axle, and it follows that because it's got a fixed link in between it. So the axle doesn't go straight up and down. It does this a little bit. But the servo location, the distance between the servo horn and the steering knuckle, if it was going straight up and down, that distance would get shorter and longer. So this point is fixed and this point was here. It's longer here than it is here. So that would mean, but since the link between them is not longer, that gives you bump steer. So as it comes up, it pushes the knuckle away to try and keep that link the same length. That's how bump steer happens. And then conversely, as it goes down, it will pull it in. That's what bump steer is. As the axle goes up, the servo is forcing it to steer because the link length changes. Now, with a 3-link with panhard, you want the 3-link, the panhard link, and the servo link to be the same length and parallel. That way, when they move together and they don't give you bump steer. That's probably a crappy explanation, being without visual aids, but there you go. So, I need more water now. I talked too much, too quickly. So, after buying an SCX10 Gene Master, sorry, where'd it go? After buying an SCX10 clone, you were right. It's just crap. I put it aside for parts, and the body mounting is crap. You live and learn, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do that. 4-link front kicks ass. It doesn't. It's not proper if you're running a chassis, a servo on the chassis mounted servo. I have a couple TRXs and was thinking about selling one to start up my 3D printer hobby I want to take on. Does purchasing a Creality sound like a good machine to start with? It absolutely does sound like a good machine to start with because there's a huge community, and if you have an issue, there's a million people that also have them that can be like, here's some tips. So yes, Creality, absolutely a good starter machine. Do a build off with a VS4-10 chassis kit and VFD transmission. All other components need to be made or found from around the house or shop. I think people would not like that because I have a lot of nice parts around. They'd be like, nobody else has that stuff around. You're an ass and we hate you. I think that's what people would say to me. I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that's what people would say to me. Funny, his Jeep Gladiator has a 4-link with panhard. Now, that's the difference. I said triangulated 4-link. That's the difference. There's parallel 4-link and triangulated 4-link. A parallel 4-link, it doesn't have any triangulation of the links. With our trucks, like this in the rear, this is called a double triangulated 4-link because the lowers and uppers have triangulation. They're wider or narrower here and wider here, and then the flip here. You can also have a single triangulated, which is where like the lower links are straight and then the uppers have the triangulation. So, but if none of them do, if they're all straight, then nothing locates the axle. You need triangulation to create location just by geometry. So that's the long story, not so long. That's the $2 explanation. So yeah, anyway. One of my RGTs got a panhard and 4-link up front. Yeah, that's incorrect. And if you have a triangulated 4-link and a panhard, you have a binding situation and are severely hampering performance. Let's see. VP next rig will have a 4-link chassis mounted servo. Yep, and a steering gearbox. God. Had to step away for a bit. What is the red chassis? This is a chassis. Well, this was a complete truck that I purchased, and that I need to continue to rebuild so that I can make my money back because I spent a lot of money on this truck. So yeah. TRX does triangular. Yes. Almost all trucks that we have on the market now are a triangulated 4-link rear with a 3-link with panhard front. So how much does that roll cage weigh? This just so happened to have a set of scales on the bench tonight. Sorry. So, any bets in grams what this weighs? We'll let you guess. I do believe that this is actual tubing, not solid rod. So, if that affects your guess, there is some solid 1/8 inch though. There you go. Your Jeep is a slight triangulated 4-link. I put lifts on them all the time. So, yes, and you can almost anything will have some sort, but you need like technically I think you need about 30 degrees of link triangulation to get an axle properly located. If you have under that, you'll have the ability to sway an axle back and forth, and that's so you'll only create bind once you hit a certain point, which is usually around 30% or 30 degrees total. So double triangulated, you can do 15 degrees between them, 30 degrees total. What color are you going to do that cage? I don't know. I really haven't decided. It's yeah. Let- Um, oof, sorry, I'm going back up to see some of these questions. My first printer ever was a Creality, and it was Josh's jerry can, and mount came out perfect. Awesome. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes. Last I saw Jeep use triangulation in their 4-link. Better check yours. My 2009 and I don't think so. I mean, at least maybe a little, but not enough to be a triangulated 4-link. Josh, you need to do a build where you subs mail you parts and compile list each submit. Oh, it would be fun. I'm building a power wagon out of all metal and brass. Would Vanquish rock jocks be strong enough for the weight? The body will be all metal and the frame mostly brass. Ugh. Why? Why are you doing that? They would be strong. I mean, they're going to be about as strong as any possible option, but why are you doing that? Geez, of course a guy with a ripper has a ton of high-end extra parts just laying around. That's what helps me. There you go, Slow Don. Appreciate it. What color are you going oh, okay, we've got a bunch of guesses. Your thoughts on RC YouTubers using female exposing themselves on a thumbnail to get you to click on their video? I don't think I haven't seen that. I guess is that actually in the video, or are they just either way? That's I don't know. There's a lot. I don't know. Is that really a thing? But I mean, is it in like other types of RC, like the trophy girls? Anyway, let's find out what this thing weighs. Overhead. It's gonna be this one. 786, 787. Let's see if anybody was close. Ooh, 742 RC411. Ooh, I think Swoof 13 is probably, I think 800 would be a little bit closer. I don't know if anybody was closer. Yep, I think Swoof. I think you got it, man. Right, it was like the second guess too. Swoof 13. 1, 2, 3. It was the third guess. It was the closest. Boom. What is that in pounds? I don't necessarily know that conversion off the top of my head. So that's why I just did it in whatever this weighed. Yeah. So um anyway, I have a gatekeeper that I've recently took my IFS off of. It now has a 3-link front with adjustable panhard mount. How can I stop the side to side motion? It's very minimal though. I mean, if it's just, does it just have slop from like the rod ends? because that's otherwise it shouldn't if it's got a decent panhard setup. Clickbait is always gonna always gonna be around it. Yeah, I know. I mean, I have Nicole join me on Fridays. It's not really clickbait. Like I don't try and I don't use it as clickbait. Like I don't have it in the thumbnail. It's always about RC, but I mean, but I really enjoy having my wife on those streams. It's one of my favorite things. Do you make a servo on axle for the Vanquish D44? No, we do not. Josh has a mystery box build. He has to make room for it. I do. I have it in the house here, and I wrote on the box, like, do not open until live video, just so I didn't, like, see it later. I'm like, what is this? Like, I wrote on big letters. Just wasted 8 hours on the printer. Supports printed rock solid. I don't know what I did wrong. Sometimes that just happens, though. Your opinion on Luis crawler tire. I don't know anything about that one. I haven't heard of that. Cat meowed with perfect timing. Oh, dang it, jumped. Sorry. RC Dave says he's going to send me some links. Okay. I'll check them out. What is that? Yeah, sorry. How to lose subs, clickbait. I try not to clickbait. I do try and make titles that are at least like a Scale News update. I do try and make titles that are make you go, wait, what? Like, but they're always something in the vid. Like, I had a video the other day that said like one of them was like $28,000. And people were like, wait, what is 28,000? And it was about like the Vegas drag race. So I was like, the Price is Right rule. Swoof went over. 1.73 pounds is what this is. That's not that bad, really. I mean, again, you're not going to use this as an absolute performance only, but if Swoof won, he says that doesn't work, he'd choose orange too. See, and that's why I slid him the actual answer beforehand. Does Vanquish only focus on a particular part at a time? Like this week is a F9 house? No, I mean, so we have machines that have basically, they're called pallets. So a pallet is a base, and on that base there is a tombstone. That's called. It sticks up and it's say 30 inches tall. And on the four sides is each side has a different job. So there's 4 jobs on one tombstone, and we have machines that have 5. We have machines that have 2. We have a machine that has 5. We have one that has 15. We have one that has 10. We have one that has 24. And each of those can have a different job, but there's still a lot more jobs that we have than there are faces available. So you do still have to focus on. So it's like what you're saying, but way more complicated. And then we have other machines that don't have that, and that you are just running one part at a time. And so yeah, it's all over. There's a lot to it. I'm gonna have a hard time continuing scrolling. So if I miss your comments, you can always just re-comment them. But so I'm not. You're not pimping your spouse for likes, dude. Yeah, I'm not. I agree. I can't think of one time you've clickbaited. Yeah, I try not to click. It's just there's the titles are like but still. Squints Paladoris. Oh my God! Hey again. I just have to say that username because it's hilarious. I bought the Tenno or Techno maybe RC pliers. Good ones. CNC machine talk. I know this stuff. On Thingiverse, there's a design that slips on standard needle nose pliers. Oh, for like a shock plier setup? That's kind of cool. I have a Mamba X ESC with a 2850 kV. Can I still run a factory 45 tooth spur gear and an 11 tooth pinion gear on a TRX4 Defender? Yeah, you'd be fine. As long as the 11 tooth will fit. But it should. Yeah, that's the factory gearing. So yeah, you'll be fine. Do you have any gray methods around? No, I don't. Unless I checked a box. I don't. Not that I know of. Um, so let's see. Is there some painter's tape that just is turd? I only use 3M painter's tape when I put painter's tape on my 3D printers. Like I have some glass bed printers, and I only use like 3M brand. And so, Josh, I could have bought my VS410 Pro by now with the amount of money I donated to your Wednesday night RC and Friday RC church sessions. Yeah, what is it? Sunday, right? It's Sunday service. That's what we're doing now. Scan news update. Josh's way to insult Alex's Yaris. Would you do a review on Luis? I don't know what these are. So you're gonna have to send me a link to these. I've never heard of that brand. How's the RCPC build? I've made progress. I've got more work done in CAD on it for some changes that I made on to that. I've changed up a couple of things, and then it's kind of on to some of the actual PC stuff and some more of the actual finishing of the semi, which is down here on the ground. He doesn't use Nicole, but everyone likes her for being straight up. When is Vanquish going to bring two wheels and AR60 with axles back in stock? Not right now. No plans right now. Have you tried Genze's high voltage adventure packs? Yes. I've got a couple of them. I've got the 4300s are the ones that I like the best. They had the smaller one too, but the 4300 was the one that I ended up enjoying the most. But now I run a lot of 4S, so I run the Genzace or the Tattoo brand, which is also Genzace. But I like the Tattoo brand 4S packs, so I run more high volt. Just put a Firma 4000 combo in the SMT Mega Truck. She's a monster. Should the Vanquish 3 gear be its next mod? I mean, that's a lot of power. You're probably going to need a transmission. How do you feel about the composite Vanquish wheels? Composite. You mean the Incision KMC molded plastic ones, like that come stock on the VS410s? They're just a good inexpensive option. You know, if you need a full set of wheels for $50, it's an option. I need to stop saying I keep saying before reading comments. So since this is Sunday service, all donations are tax-free. Boom. You know what? I'm going to put that on my taxes. Do you have a no prep car set up? I do. I've got a couple of them. And next Friday night's live build is going to be a carbon fiber chassis on my drag car, I guess, because my previous DR10 will now be carbon fiber. Luis is Duratrax 4 brake. Okay. Don't love those tires then. I've had them all. I don't love them. Too soft and not that great of traction. When am I getting my winning truck? I used to run a 6-pallet Mazak. Nice. Yeah, most of ours are Matsura. So, any other suggestions for the UMG 10 other than shock towers? Let's see. Shock towers, yeah, was the first one I said. What would be my next thing to do? I mean, shocks would be my next thing after shock towers. No VP 2.2 now that the Rift would be coming in. It's like, I know what you mean. The reason that we stopped making them before was just because we couldn't keep up with 1.9s. So it's not because we don't want to, but the demand on 1.9s has been more than we've been able to handle. So that's why. What's your impression of those Pitbull shocks from last week? Oh, that we did on Brian's truck? Super nice shocks. They're beautiful shocks. I finally made it. What's on the stand, Josh? This is a custom chassis that I had purchased quite a while back that needs stripped and then rebuilt to the full truck that it once was. And then this is the VS410 Ultra that we worked on tonight with the new carbon fiber electronic and battery trays that I made and installed. Yeah. Cat butt clickbait. Oh, nice. Getting a WBL D12. I've got 2 of them already. I freaking love these cheap, shitty trucks. They're cheap, shitty trucks by all means. They're like 50, like $60, but they're so much fun. And I plan to do I've got a full 3D printed chassis design that I plan to actually machine a version of as well. But they're so much fun to play with. They're just stupid. They're junk, but so cool. Where do you keep your LiPo batteries? I have ammo cans that have holes drilled in the top, and then I keep them in those. Is a tax free? You're a reverend. Exactly. I am, or I'm a is a reverend. What am I? Yeah, whatever it is. What I'm ordained. I'm a minister. I'm an ordained minister now. Underdrive the rear and boom. Oh, that must be for nothing. When I get my VS410 Pro, can I give it to you to build on a Friday night live? We're local to each other, so no 200 plus shipping will be. Oh, I didn't know you were local, RC Dave. That's a possibility for sure. I try not to do them too close to each other since we just did one, but if you're looking in a little while, then that is an option because I'm always looking for things to build on Friday nights. I just bought a TRX4 today and it scrolled past. Today, are there any parts I need to upgrade immediately? Not really immediately. You might need a servo quicker than you like, but what's a good shock upgrade for an SCX-102 deadbolt? I run Incision shocks. Proline Pro specs are nice. Those pit bulls were nice. Then there's a bunch of others. Where did you get yours? I got mine I got one from WPL Direct and one from Banggood. Just bought a Grand Hauler. Nice. All I hear is Ripper Machinist needs help. Is loading parts. Yeah. I'll be there loading parts, and our machines run pretty much 24 hours, so that is good. Coons RC made one of the D12s 4x4, and it's awesome. Will a tuk tuk or dancing rider fit in the bed? They're no, it's a little small. Got a preference for mud tires? Uh, Fling Kings? How dare you call NERC cheap and shitty? This is cheap and shitty. So much fun still. They can be. You can have. Sometimes the cheap ones are the most fun. You need to slam that and use servos for hydraulics. Slamming it is definitely the plan, but I want to live that static life all the way down and just all the time. So being an ordained dudism could be tax free. We just need to get that to be uh what do you call it? Acknowledged. Thank you, Derek Horner. Appreciate it, sir. DravTech big bore shocks are sweet. Agreed, Chris. That thing needs super scale 2020 kits. Are them carbon fiber parts from Vanquish? No, I made them. I drew them up and I cut them on my CNC. So those are Harley Designs parts. Stream getting a bit choppy here. Sorry. Looks maybe we dropped some frames, but getting there. Top 5 upgrades for the Ultra. My 10.3 is killing my Ultra. I don't know what's going on there. I've never had, especially with my 10.3s, just not great performers. For the Ultra, the things that I would ever upgrade, well, wheels and tires, like I did. 21% overdrive is a great one. I like the overdrive. I don't have it in this one here, but it's a solid update. And then narrowing up the bumpers if you want something that's more capable as far as that goes. See, there's me saying again. Pastor Josh drives a fucking Ranger. I made a reach sway bar mount for that 6.2. Best rig for the money. Flex transmission mod built part support. Well, Flex should not be on that list. But for the money, I would still kind of default to an SCX-10 when all things like that are considered. What are you planning on using that WPL for? Someone I know is making a drifter. I have no idea what I'll use it for. I have no real plans other than just making it low. That's really it. It's just kind of a platform to build on, and that's all I care about. I don't really even care if I drive it again. Squints Palladors, thank you, sir. Donation towards making one of those little trucks into a no-fret drag car. You should see. These things blow up these little plastic rear ends. Sorry, I've got a bunch of crap in the bed of this one, but the little rear ends have the tiniest little gears. You can get a metal axle for the rear for like $50 though. What color are the wheels on the truck you worked on tonight? Oh, they're gold, but they're custom. I had some trophies done that we made for the local band. And obviously we had to have things gold or anodized gold for the trophies. And I happened to slide like a few sets of wheels in on that. Like, I'm just going to sit these in there. Got some gold wheels. You guys see the 4-door Ranger on 1320's Instagram? I did not. I'm sure I will see it later. Why drill holes in top of the ammo can? Because if something ended up happening with the lipos, you could basically turn that into like a pressurized thing. So it just vents the way up. So, I mean, it's still going to smell bad, but in the fire it will stay contained though. So that's why. Any recommendations on a rock crawler for a small setup at my local carpet track? Probably a Capra if you're trying to like actually do some like rock crawling. Think I should put some brass in the UMG 10? I mean, if you want to put a little weight in the front, but I wouldn't go overkill. It's such a short wheelbase that if you overweight it one way or the other, then it's either going to want to pass itself coming downhill or it's going to not do that great going uphill. So you've got to be careful with that one for sure. I like the body kit. You can install in those D12s and add some drift tires. The body kits are cool. I want to make mine super low with no body kit. Nothing added. I just want to make it as low as possible, just slammed up in there, but no body kit. I think the no body kit super low is even cooler. Best Ranger is the one on treads. That little shorty one, that was hilarious. Needs holes so it doesn't blow up. Yes, exactly. WTL really needs some tracks. Oh my god. Easier to pull the rubber seal than to drill holes in those ammo can. I don't know if I trusted. Maybe the pulling rubber seal's enough, but could be, I guess. Drilling holes is pretty easy though. I've been to big events last summer, fully built up enduro build kit with the EPX Pro kit and with the VS truck body. Really liking the Element a lot. The Element's a good little truck. Would you ever switch to the Sanwa Electronics line of remote receiver, even though you love Fatava? I pretty much like Fatava, especially their servos too. I like it there. Which 124th do you recommend? I think the SCX-24 is still kind of my favorite, but I did pick up another. So I picked up the 120. I've got the C10 as well, but this is the Betty. But I also picked up this one from Hobby Plus. This is that new one that A-Main carries. I linked it in my scale news. But it's even though it says it's 1/18th scale, it's basically the width of a 1/24th. Like it's an eighth or a quarter inch wider, but the wheelbase is a bunch longer. which I think is actually kind of cool. And I almost like that better. This is pretty slick and cheap. This thing is like, can't remember what the retail is, but it's super cheap. So it's bigger, you know, in some ways, but could be modified and whatnot. And like this is pretty rad for the money. It does use regular ring and pinion axles though, which I don't love as much. So I think my perfect truck would be taking the SCX24 drivetrain and converting it over to this thing to get rid of the ring and pinion style, which don't have as good a control, and going to the SCX24 setup. So maybe I'll get that done. Why should wheel articulation flex not be on the list? I'm trying to get, because people think that flex means performance when really all you want is about the height of one tire. So that's, you don't want it to twist. Like that's a thing that it's flashy and people think that it matters, but you don't want too much. You'll get out of control with it, and it's more, it hurts more than it helps. So I was just about to drop $1,200 on a VS410 here in Australia, but someone swooped down and got it. Oh, that sucks that it cost that much. And it sucks that you didn't get to get it if you wanted it. Does aircraft receiver work with the 7PX? I believe that it does, Stephen Morgan. It's an FHSS receiver, so I think it works with it no problem. I asked earlier, but I may have missed the answer. Opinions on the Holmes servo. I have the SHV 500 V2. Can't remember if I have a V2 or a V3. And it's been great. I've got it in one of my VS410s. I can't remember which one. But it's been a solid servo. I like it. Didn't they have a 1/18th with FPV? Could be possible. I don't know. I'd jump into that. Should I use the VS410 chassis kit or buy chassis rails only and CNC cut supports and all that? I mean, it's a possibility. Seems like a lot of work. Chassis kit comes with a lot of the stuff that's nice to have extra, even if it was your starting point. I don't know. $129.99 on A-Main for this. So yeah, it's, you know, in that regard, it's a little more than the SCX24. It's like it's a tough decision, but I think for the size, it's cool in its own way. They make a CR18 kit. I have one on pre-order through Asia. What's the CR18 kit? I don't know what that is. Is that what this is? Justin, you'll have to let me know. Do they have a kit version of this? Because I would build one of those. Why not? Proper suspension setup usually allows enough RT. Yeah. A Vanquish 6x6 would be awesome, but very expensive. That's true. And so niche. Do you know if RC Country still has any Bettys? I don't think that they do. I think that Moose Jaw said that they had sold out like a week or two ago. Only one I can find that wasn't secondhand. Oh, yeah. What Jeep hardbody is that bouncer built around? It's I don't really know. I think it's mainly custom. W12 WPL D12 monthly mayhem drift racing would be it would be fun. I don't know if I'd get mad into that one. Josh, sell me your 4PV. I like having two radios, and I like the 4PV and the 4PM. The little trucks can use Tekin RSs. I mean, that's a lot of ESC for it. Don't they have a cheapy brushed one? Like a BXR? Oh, I'm dropping frames. Sorry. You're not cool unless you submerge your rig in water or mud. I don't even like wet grains. I do not like getting my trucks wet and muddy. I built and fly FPV and put a micro FPV system in my 24 scale deadbolt. Crazy fun to cruise around. I've tried FPV in land-based cars and I just never really enjoyed it as much. So anyway, it is 8:26. A bunch of people got booted. Sorry about that. Hopefully this is catching up. I'm dropping a bunch of frames again. Anyway, it's 8:26. I am going to probably wrap this up quickly. Sorry, we're going to see if this stream catches back up first. We'll see. It doesn't appear that it is. Try it one. Okay. We're going to see if that fixed it at all. It doesn't appear that it has, though. So we are going to end this stream for the night. I have talked about as much as I think I can for the evening. My voice is gone. But with that, if you can hear me through all of the frames that I'm dropping, I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out on Sunday's new live stream setup. It's been a good time. I'm glad that we made the change. And that's, I think that these live streams have turned out to be more of what I was hoping Sundays would be. So again, thanks everybody for spending some time here. Next Sunday, I think we're going to do this earlier because it's Super Bowl Sunday. So hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate all of you guys for stopping. Sorry about having frame dropping issues tonight. So with that, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.